Have you ever considered that dragons, those fire-breathing creatures of legend, might be more than just myth? What if I told you that these majestic and terrifying beasts might have roots not only in ancient history, but in the Bible itself? Today, you're about to journey into a realm where myth, scripture, and hidden knowledge collide in a way that will leave you questioning everything. Throughout time, dragons have appeared in nearly every culture, from the towering winged serpents of Europe to the wise divine dragons of the East. Humanity has always had a strangely consistent memory of these creatures. But what if it's not memory at all? What if it's something more, something real? The Bible is not silent on creatures that resemble dragons. In fact, if you read closely, you'll find that dragons, serpents, and sea monsters appear more than once, often as symbols of chaos, evil, and rebellion against God. One of the clearest examples is the Leviathan, described in the book of Job as a monstrous sea creature, a creature without fear, whose breath kindles coals and whose sneezes flash forth light. This is no ordinary animal. It's a fire-breathing beast, a dragon in every sense of the word. But Leviathan isn't the only one. In Revelation, the final book of the Bible, we encounter the great red dragon, with 7 heads and 10 horns. This dragon is explicitly linked to Satan himself, cast down from heaven, waging war against God's angels. Here, the dragon is not just a creature, it's a cosmic enemy, an ancient force of destruction. And yet, what if this biblical imagery is more literal than we think? There are ancient texts, long forgotten or deliberately excluded from the canon, that speak of serpentine beings dwelling beneath the earth and sea. Texts that describe winged reptiles soaring through the skies, guardians of treasure, bringers of judgment, enemies of man. Some scholars believe these creatures are remnants of pre-flood life, beasts that roamed the earth in an age when giants walked alongside humans, and the boundaries between the physical and the spiritual were far more blurred. Think about it. Nearly every ancient civilization has stories of dragon-like creatures. The Chinese, the Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Mayans. They lived continents apart, separated by oceans and centuries, and yet they all speak of the same type of beast. Why? Could it be that they all remembered something real, something so terrifying, so awe-inspiring, that it etched itself into the collective memory of mankind? Some believe dragons were physical beings, dinosaurs that survived longer than we realize, perhaps even manipulated or inhabited by dark spiritual forces. Others argue that dragons are entirely spiritual, fallen beings that take the form of serpents, manipulating and corrupting the world from the shadows. And then there are the stories, whispers passed down through generations, of remote villages where winged creatures once descended from the skies, scorching crops and carrying away livestock. Of explorers who claim to see monstrous shapes in the clouds or hear thunderous roars echoing from mountain caves. One account, nearly erased from history, tells of a monastery in Eastern Europe where monks claimed to battle a dragon that lived in the cliffs behind their sanctuary. They fasted and prayed for 7 days. On the final day, they said the sky darkened unnaturally and a great wind rose. What emerged from the cave, according to their records, was not a beast of flesh and blood, but a shadow given form, with eyes like molten gold and a roar that could crack stone. They said it wasn't just a creature, it was ancient hatred, a spirit of rebellion, a fallen one. And that brings us to a troubling possibility. What if dragons were not just animals? What if they were once angels, celestial beings who took on monstrous forms when they fell from grace? The prophet Isaiah speaks of a time when the Lord will punish Leviathan the fleeing serpent, Leviathan the twisting serpent, and he will slay the dragon that is in the sea. This is divine warfare, and Leviathan is no myth. It's an enemy God himself promises to destroy. So what does all of this mean? It means the stories were never just stories. The dragons we feared in our tales may be echoes of something deeper, something spiritual, something real. Not just monsters of the past, but powers that still move behind the scenes, hidden, dormant, waiting. We may not see dragons soaring through the sky today, but their influence lingers. In chaos, in war, in temptation, in rebellion. The dragon is not gone. It's just changed its form. And when the final battle comes, when heaven and earth are shaken, the dragon will rise again. But it will not stand victorious, because its end has already been written.